There are lands where, upon arrival, we feel as if time has stopped. Cambodia is such a place, where pristine nature and ancient heritage coexist, whispering stories that have been covered in dust for thousands of years. Moss-covered temples hidden in deep forests, streams quietly flowing through the glorious vestiges of a civilization that once dominated Southeast Asia. And it is from here that the journey into the heart of legend begins. Angkor Wat, the most brilliant gem in the Angkor complex, is not only the pride of Cambodia, but also an eternal symbol of human wisdom and belief. Built in the 12th century to worship Vishnu, then gradually becoming a Buddhist sanctuary, Angkor Wat is like a great symphony, combining architecture, art, and spirituality. Spanning over 400 acres, the temple contains more than 3,000 exquisite reliefs, depicting legendary stories and history of a prosperous period. Few people know that Angkor Wat's architecture was inspired by the Hindu cosmological model, with the central tower symbolizing Mount Meru, where the gods reside. Standing before the grandeur and tranquility of Angkor Wat, people cannot help but be moved. Here, each stone slab seems to whisper about the past, and each ray of early sunlight shining through the ancient corridor seems to awaken souls that have been sleeping for centuries. If Angkor Wat is the pinnacle of Khmer art and belief, then Koh Ker, deep in the Preah Vihear forest, brings a feeling of wildness and mystery, as if you have just discovered a buried secret. About 120 kilometers from Siem Reap, Koh Ker was once the capital of the Khmer Empire for nearly 40 years in the 10th century, a glorious but little-known period in history. The most prominent here is the Prasat Thom temple, with a soaring pyramid shape in the middle of the wild nature, reminiscent of the temples of the distant Mayans. Amidst the moss-covered ruins and the quiet sound of the old forest, Koh Ker not only takes visitors back to an ancient era, but also evokes an indescribable sense of sacredness, as if this place is still protected by ancient spirits. It is this solitude and silence that makes Koh Ker an enchanting destination, reminding that history is not only told through feats, but also through forgotten works. Leaving the solitude of Koh Ker, the journey takes us back to the heart of Angkor Thom, where Bayon Temple appears like a mythical maze carved in stone. Different from the solemn majesty of Angkor Wat or the solitude of Koh Ker, Bayon has its own charm. 54 stone towers with more than 200 giant, gentle and mysterious faces, as if watching every step of the traveler. Built in the late 12th century under King Jayavarman VII, the temple is a blend of Buddhism and royal power, where beliefs are not separate from politics, but go hand in hand like two halves of the same world. The stone smiles at Bayon are not noisy, but are strong enough to penetrate time, making us wonder, Are they portraits of gods, kings, or the soul of a vanished civilization? In the dim light of the surrounding jungle, Bayon is more than just an architectural work. It is a profound spiritual experience, where the past still whispers alive. After journeys back in time through Bayon and Koh Ker, Koh Rong emerges as a gentle silence of nature, where the waves and the jungle harmonize in a wild love song. Located off the coast of Sihanoukville province, this island stretches nearly 30 kilometers with fine white sand. The seawater is so clear that you can see schools of small fish swimming by your feet. But Koh Rong is not only beautiful for its scenery, but also for its soul. This is where Khmer people have lived for centuries, preserving ancient legends and customs that have never been forgotten. At night, when the sun sets behind the coconut trees, the phenomenon of bioluminescence makes the sea glow like a galaxy. A magical moment that leaves anyone who witnesses it speechless. Koh Rong is not noisy, not crowded, but pure and profound. In the sound of the sea breeze and the scent of the tropical forest, this place whispers an invitation. Let's temporarily forget the world and listen to the pristine breath of nature. Leaving behind the clear blue waves and the ephemeral light of Koh Rong, the journey continues to take us to the sacred land, where traces of the past still silently exist on the top of Udong Mountain. Once the capital of Cambodia for nearly 2 centuries, from 1618 to 1866, Udong was not only the political center, but also the spiritual heart of the whole nation. Today, this place is a collection of more than 40 ancient temples scattered along the mountainside, hidden in the early morning clouds and incense smoke. Standing from the top of Udong, looking out at the green fields and the peaceful river in the distance, people cannot help but feel small before the pure and profound beauty of this land. Udong is not as bustling as Phnom Penh, nor as splendid as Angkor, but this place holds precious things. From the sacred silence of Udong Mountain, the traveler's footsteps continue to Phnom Sampov, a majestic limestone mountain located in Battambang province, where natural beauty and historical memories intersect in an emotional scene. From afar, Phnom Sampov appears majestically in the middle of the peaceful plain, like a silent witness to the stories that once shook the whole country. This place is famous for its cave system that was once a painful execution site during the Khmer Rouge period, and also where millions of bats flock out every sunset, creating a spectacular scene like a vivid cloud strip stretching for kilometers against the fiery red sky. Reaching the top of the mountain, the golden pagodas reflect on the steep cliffs, as if soothing the wounds of the past with the light of hope and faith. Phnom Sampov is not only a place to admire the landscape, but also a place to calm down, to remember, to understand, and to feel the endurance of the Cambodian soul through the ups and downs of history. After the layers of historical memories on top of Phnom Sampov, the journey takes us to the south of Cambodia, where Koh Tonsay, also known as Rabbit Island, quietly lies between the sea and sky of Kep Province like an unpolished rough gem. In contrast to the solemnity and melancholy of the Temple Mountain, Koh Tonsay welcomes us with fine white sand beaches, clear water, and the simple life of the fishing village people. The small island is only over 3 miles wide, but contains a peaceful world where time seems to slow down and nature still retains its inherent wildness. In the sea breeze blowing through the rustling coconut trees, we can feel the soul of the island, rustic, pure, and close. Koh Tonsay used to be a French naval base, and to this day, small, quiet historical vestiges remain in the midst of nature. It is this modesty that creates a special attraction, not by its splendor, but by its pure beauty, and the feeling of returning to a familiar place that we have never been to. Leaving behind the wild and peaceful beauty of Koh Tonsay, the journey back to the capital Phnom Penh leads us to the Royal Palace of Cambodia, a splendid symbol of royal power and Khmer cultural beauty. Located on the poetic Tonle Sap River, the architectural complex built in 1866 is not only the official residence of the king, but also a place to preserve the national spirit through each golden tile roof and sophisticated carvings. Entering the campus of more than 115 acres, visitors feel like they are lost in a fairy tale world, where the past and present intersect in each fold of time. The most prominent is the Diamond Throne, studded with more than 4,500 precious diamonds, which not only shows wealth, but also symbolizes the undying belief in royalty and tradition. Amidst the quiet space covered with green trees and the sound of wind chimes ringing from the stupas, the royal palace not only makes us admire its magnificence, but also evokes deep respect for a steadfast culture amidst the vicissitudes of history. From the splendor of the Phnom Penh Royal Palace, we slowly walk towards another sacred place, Wat Phnom, an ancient temple located on the only hill in the heart of the capital. About 27 meters high, this small hill is not only a geographical highlight of the city, but also a spiritual cradle, where the legend of Phnom Penh's birth began. Under the canopy of green ancient trees, each step leading up to the temple seems to lead the way back to the deep roots. Inside the moss-covered main hall are vivid murals telling stories of Buddha and ancient Khmer legends. Wat Phnom is not as ornate as the royal palace, nor as majestic as Angkor, but it makes our hearts quiet because of its simplicity, sacredness, and the feeling of touching the origin of a nation. Saying goodbye to the sacred and quiet atmosphere of Wat Phnom, the journey continues down to the sea, where the city of Sihanoukville opens up with golden sunlight and a deep blue horizon. Located in Preah Sihanouk Province, this is one of the fastest-growing coastal cities in Cambodia, carrying a modern breath but still preserving the charm of a land attached to the sea. Named after King Norodom Sihanouk, the founder of Cambodian tourism, the city is not only a commercial center, but also a dream destination for millions of tourists. With more than 18 beaches stretching over 18 miles, coconut trees swaying in the wind and whispering waves, Sihanoukville makes people easily forget all the hustle and bustle of everyday life. But the beauty here is not only in the sea, but also hidden deep in the surrounding tropical forests, where rare birds still call in peace. Sihanoukville is a place where modern life and natural identity meet, a land that is both youthful and full of depth. From the youthful vibrancy of Sihanoukville, we turn southeast to Kep, a peaceful gem nestled on the coast of the Gulf of Thailand. In contrast to the hasty development of tourist cities, Kep has a quiet, nostalgic charm, as if time here passes more slowly to preserve its pristine and pure beauty. In the 1960s, Kep was once a luxurious resort paradise for the upper class, where artists and intellectuals from Indochina came to escape the noise. Today, that trace is still present in the old French villas covered in moss and the coastal road winding in the sound of waves. But what makes Kep special is the famous blue crab dish, the quintessence of the sea and the hands of the fishermen. The rich flavor of Kep crab seems to contain both the sunshine and the love of the coastal people. Not too ostentatious, Kep conquers people with its rustic beauty and familiar feeling, like a gentle whisper in the heart of Cambodia. Leaving the gentle tranquility of Kep, the journey takes us back to the center of water life, where the floating villages on Tonle Sap Lake near Siem Reape appear as a completely different world. This is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. But what makes this place special is not only its enormous size, but also the Khmer communities that have lived on the water for hundreds of years. Wooden houses built on rafts, schools, churches, floating markets, all flow to the rhythm of the water, as if time must also learn to adapt. In the rainy season, the lake expands to more than 6,000 square kilometers, turning everything into a vast river area where boats are the only means of connection. The people here live on fish, an animal that makes up 70% of their daily diet, and celebrate colorful water festivals as a way to honor nature. Standing in the middle of that space, listening to the gentle sound of oars on the water, we feel a life that is both fragile and durable, where people not only exist, but also blend into the pulse of nature. From the peaceful floating of Tonle Sap Water Village, we continue to Battambang, a land that preserves the secrets of majestic nature. where Phnom Sampov Bat Cave becomes one of the most impressive scenes in Cambodia. Every sunset, millions of bats leave the cave like a black stream rolling up into the red sky, creating a surreal scene that leaves viewers speechless in awe. The bat strip stretches for more than a mile, moving constantly like a vibrant silk strip across the horizon. But behind the magic lies a balanced ecosystem. Bats play an important role in controlling insects and maintaining crops for local people. Many families living around this area also use bat guano as fertilizer, creating a strong connection between nature and human life. Battambang is not just a place to admire, but a place to feel, a place where the breath of millions of unknown creatures still echoes in the legendary sunset space. From the rolling bat sky in Battambang, the journey takes us along the southern coast of Cambodia, where Kampot, a dreamy riverside city, appears like a love song of nature, history, and flavor. Kampot is not noisy, not brilliant, but easily captures the hearts of visitors with its ancient and slow appearance, like the streams of water flowing around the city. This place is famous for kampot black pepper, a quintessential spice considered the black gold of the country, present in prestigious kitchens around the world. Walking through the rows of French-style houses that have faded over time, listening to the distant sound of temple bells, we seem to be lost in another Cambodia, gentle and thoughtful. Not only a destination for the taste buds, Kampot also fascinates visitors with its caves hidden in the mountains. Immense salt fields and the sunset sky reflecting on the surface of the Tuk Cho River. Kampot is a place to slow down, to see the beauty and simplicity, where the past, nature, and people tell stories together with a quiet, moving vibe. From Kampot, the journey takes us back to the sacred land of Siem Reape, where Ta Keo Temple, a majestic monolithic stone temple, stands tall in the middle of the jungle as a declaration of strength and simplicity. Not as magnificent as Angkor Wat, Ta Keo conquers the viewer with the roughness and decisiveness of each large sandstone block that has never been completely carved. Built in the late 10th century to honor the god Shiva, the temple is like a sacred mountain built by the Khmer people, with steep steps that test the courage and legs of travelers. Climbing to the top, in the early morning sunlight filtering through the forest canopy, we feel not only the vastness of the land of Angkor, but also the humility of an unfinished work. A reminder that greatness does not need to be perfect. Ta Keo is not just a relic, but an experience. A place where one feels the beauty of the raw, sincere, and imperfect. Following the pristine majesty of Ta Keo, we quietly walk to Preah Vihear Temple, one of the largest and most mysterious temples of the Angkor complex, hidden among the dense forest canopy like a forgotten ancient library. Built in the 12th century by King Jayavarman VII to commemorate his father, Preah Khan was not only a temple, but also a center of learning, a Buddhist monastery, and a residence for thousands of monks and scholars. Along the long corridors covered with green moss, the wind blowing through each crevice of the rocks seemed to be telling the whispers of the past. Unlike Ta Prohm, famous for its rebellious tree roots, Preah Khan is quiet and balanced, between rocks and forests, between ruins and durability. Many towers still stand, depicting gods and sacred symbols that seem to guard this place from oblivion. Passing through each rotten wooden door, our hearts suddenly become light, as if we have just left the real world to touch another dimension, where faith, knowledge, and time coexist in a respectful silence. Hidden in the green forest about 25 kilometers from Angkor Wat, Banteay Srei appears like a precious gem carved by the hands of the most talented artisans of ancient times. Not as tall or majestic as other temples, but the small, delicate appearance and unique pink color of the sandstone make this place enchanting. People often call Banteay Srei the Temple of Women, not because it is dedicated to women, but because each carving here has a soft, graceful, and feminine beauty, as if only the hands of women could create it. The feeling of standing in that space is a strange combination of amazement, peace, and deep respect. If Banteay Srei is a love song carved in stone, Mondulkiri is a quiet melody of wild nature and primitive life. Located in eastern Cambodia, the Mondulkiri Plateau is like a world completely separate from the rhythm of modern life, where pine hills stretch endlessly, waterfalls pour over cliffs, and mist covers the land every morning. Here, wild elephants are no longer exploited, but are cared for in sanctuaries such as the Elephant Valley Project, where visitors can walk with elephants, no riding, no chains, just a quiet, respectful companionship. The feeling of seeing an old elephant leisurely walking in the middle of the forest, its thoughtful eyes seeming to contain a lifetime of experience, makes people unconsciously slow down and reflect. Mondulkiri is not noisy, not luxurious, but it is the simplicity and tolerance that touches the bottom of the heart, like a gentle reminder that nature does not need to be conquered, but only needs to be listened to. After the quiet footsteps with the old elephants in Mondulkiri, the journey continues to take us south, where the Penh Krasap mangrove forest stretches along the Kampot coast like a deep green maze between land and water. No more waterfalls, no more high hills, only the intertwined tree roots like the blood vessels of nature, lively and quietly nurturing a fragile ecosystem. Following the long wooden bridge winding through the mangrove canopy, visitors seem to be entering another world, where the wind whispers through the leaves, flocks of birds chirp above the water, and the sunlight reflects shimmeringly in the peaceful forest. There is something both sacred and fragile, making us suddenly realize how small we are in the vast arms of nature. Penh Krasop is not flashy, but it is charming with its quiet and enduring life, like a gentle sigh of heaven and earth for those who know how to stop and listen. From the intertwined roots of the Penh Krasop mangrove forest, the spiritual journey takes us to the capital, Phnom Penh, where the breath of the past still echoes amidst the modern pace of life. And amidst all that hustle and bustle, Wat Phnom, the most sacred symbol of the city, stands quietly on a green hill, like a deep bass note in the urban harmony. Legend has it that this is the birthplace of Phnom Penh, when a woman named Penh found a Buddha statue washed ashore and built a temple on the hill. Wat Phnom is not massive, but there is something pure and peaceful, especially when the wind chimes gently ring and the chanting spreads in the space. The scent of incense, flickering candles, and whispered prayers seem to connect the present with the souls of ancient ancestors. Coming to Wat Phnom, people not only pray for luck, but also to find a peaceful corner in the middle of a hectic life, where the heart beats slower and the soul has the opportunity to quietly wash away the dust of the world. Leaving the warm and brilliant sea of Raja Ampat, we return to the land of ice and fire Iceland, where Fjalabak, a wild plateau deep inland, appears like a surreal painting drawn by nature itself. No tropical beaches, no vibrant coral, Fjalabak welcomes us with rhyolite mountains glowing in red, orange, yellow, green, and purple, colors that seem to only exist in abstract paintings. On trails through rugged terrain and melting glaciers, one can encounter steaming hot springs in the mist, black lava fields, or calm turquoise lakes in the arid land. Fjalabak is not a place of easy beauty. It is fierce, isolated, eerie, but also extremely attractive. For those who love pure nature and are ready to face the primitive wilderness, Fjalabak is a place where the earth is at its most naked and honest, where every step is a dialogue with time and fire and stone. From the fairy tale mountains of Fjalabak, we return to Asia, crossing the Himalayas to reach the Spiti Valley, a barren and majestic plateau in the heart of Himachal Pradesh, India. Spiti, in Tibetan, means land between two rivers, and as the name suggests, this place lies quietly between snow-capped mountains and cold glaciers flowing through deep ravines. The beauty of Spiti is not noisy, not colorful. It is quiet, sacred, like a giant monastery carved from stone and wind. Small villages are scattered among the mountain slopes. Ancient monasteries such as Ki, Angkor are precariously perched on cliffs, and llamas slowly walk through the temple gates to the sound of wind chimes. On the winding roads in the rocky desert, we encounter a pristine beauty where time seems to stop. Spiti is not only a tourist destination, but also an inner journey where people learn to slow down, listen to the breath of the mountains and forests and the serenity within themselves. From the mysterious silence of Spiti Valley, we turn south to Nusa Penida, a pristine island off the coast of Bali, where nature draws strong, fierce, yet enchanting lines. Different from the bustling atmosphere of famous Bali, Nusa Penida is a world of steep cliffs plunging straight into the deep blue sea, of hidden beaches like Kelingking, where the dinosaur-shaped cliffs jut out into the ocean, making everyone speechless when they first see it from above. But Nusa Penida is not only beautiful from afar. Diving down into the crystal-clear water is a brilliant coral paradise, where visitors can swim with giant manta rays in awe and excitement. On land, the island also hides sacred temples, winding roads, and gentle people who always smile. Nusa Penida is a place where nature remains pristine, wild, fierce, but also breathtakingly beautiful. A destination that makes us feel like we have just touched a secret of the ocean. From the steep cliffs and deep blue sea of Nusa Penida, the journey takes us to a completely different land, Laguna Colorada in Bolivia, a surreal wonder in the heart of the harsh Altiplano Plateau. From afar, the lake appears like a bright red streak in the middle of the cold desert, making people wonder, is this a real lake or a dream appearing in real life? The characteristic red color of the water comes from bacteria and minerals dissolved in harsh conditions, a testament to the resilience and incredible adaptation of life. Clumps of pure white salt rise from the lake like ice islands, while hundreds of Andean flamingos walk gracefully, creating an elegant pink dance in the surreal landscape. There are no trees, no shade, just wind, sun, and the burning red of the sky and earth. Laguna Colorada is not a place to relax. It is a place to marvel, to reflect, and to realize that even in the harshest places, beauty can emerge in a majestic and emotional way. From the red highlands of Laguna Colorada, we return to the gentle blue of the Pacific, where the Kalalau Valley, a hidden gem on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, quietly welcomes dreamers. Deep in the steep Na Pali Mountains, Kalalau is not easily accessible. It can only be reached by crossing the treacherous Kalalau Trail, more than 17 kilometers long, on foot, by boat, or by helicopter. An arduous journey, but the reward is completely worth it. The valley opens up like a fairy tale world, lush green vegetation, waterfalls pouring over steep cliffs, and the pristine Kalalau beach with only the whisper of waves and wind. There are no restaurants, no hotels, just pure nature and absolute silence. Standing in the middle of Kalalau, we feel something beyond beauty, a deep connection with the land, the water, and ourselves. Kalalau is not only a destination for adventurers, but also a place where the soul finds a rare peace in the hustle and bustle of the modern world. From the quiet Kalalau Valley in the middle of the ocean, we continue to fly to the sunny Caribbean, where Isla Holbox, a small island off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, appears like a dream full of color and light. No cars, no dust. Holbox is a paradise of simplicity and relaxation, where white sand roads quietly lead to the clear blue sea, and time seems to slow down with each wave hitting the shore. This place is not only famous for its pristine beaches, but also for a magical phenomenon: bioluminescence. At night, the seawater shimmers like millions of stars shattered under people's feet, making us surprised and moved. Holbox is also home to flamingos, dolphins, and especially whale sharks, gentle giants that visitors can swim with during the migration season. Isla Holbox is not a place of luxury resorts, but a place of emotions, where every sea breeze, every sunset reminds us of simple peace and untouched beauty. Leaving the magical glowing waters of Isla Holbox, we cross the ocean and the majestic mountains to reach Svaneti, an ancient and majestic land deep in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia. Like a forgotten epic, Svaneti appears with soaring snow-capped peaks, narrow valleys covered with pine forests, and especially the towering medieval stone towers, symbols of pride and independence that have existed for centuries. Along the bumpy cobblestone roads, we enter villages like Mestia or Ushguli, where time seems to stand still. The sound of church bells, the sound of locals chatting in ancient Svan, and the smell of kitchen smoke mixed with the mountain mist create a feeling that is both strangely foreign and strangely familiar. Svaneti is not pretentious. It is a land for those who appreciate the depth of culture, the harshness of nature, and the unadorned beauty. There, amid the clouds and heritage, travelers find something precious, a silence full of identity in a world that is changing too quickly. From the gentle serenity of Aitutaki, the journey continues to take us soaring to an altitude of nearly 4,000 meters, where Quilatoa, a flooded volcanic crater in the Andes, Ecuador, appears like a deep blue mirror in the sky. In complete contrast to the warm waters of the South Pacific Islands, Quilatoa is cold, quiet, and overwhelming. The lake's surface is emerald green, sometimes turning dark blue or smoky gray, depending on the minerals and light, creating a scene that is both surreal and terrifyingly quiet. Standing on the rim of the crater, the mountain wind blows fiercely, and the scene unfolds before our eyes like a mythical painting. Those brave enough can follow the steep path down to the edge of the lake, where the still waters reflect the highland sky and towering peaks. Quilatoa is more than just a destination for adventurers. It is a place where people come face to face with their smallness in the face of the greatness of nature, and a place to be still, to listen to the magic that comes from the heart of Mother Earth. From the breathtaking heights of Quilatoa, we descend to the western coast of Mexico, where the Marietas Islands hide off the coast of Nayarit State, like a sweet secret in the middle of the ocean. These uninhabited islands not only possess crystal clear waters and vibrant coral reefs, but also hide a unique treasure. Hidden Beach, also known as Lover's Beach, a beautiful stretch of sand nestled in the heart of a limestone sinkhole, completely isolated from the outside world. Only accessible by swimming or kayaking through a narrow stone tunnel, setting foot on Hidden Beach is a thrilling and magical experience, as if we were being invited into a world of our own, a place where nature only serves those who truly know how to seek it. The echoes of the rocks, the gentle waves, and the light that shines through the stone dome create a surreal feeling. Marietas not only fascinates visitors with its beauty, but also evokes in them the feeling of discovering something intimate, secret, and completely out of the present era. Leaving the mysterious beauty hidden deep in the rocks of Marietas, we drift to the South Pacific, where Mataiva, a quiet pearl of Polynesia, lies peacefully in the middle of the vast ocean. Unlike familiar coral islands, Mataiva owns a unique lagoon made of 9 natural grooves, called 9 Eyes, making the water here sparkle like engraved glass. Those soft, winding waterways create a beautiful natural maze, both mythical and real. The water is as clear as a mirror. The pure white sand and the brilliant coral reefs make anyone who sets foot here amazed by its untouched beauty. But Mataiva is more than just a tropical paradise. It is a place where time stands still. No dust, no noise, just the sound of the sea breeze, the whispering waves, and the gentle smiles of the local people. Mataiva feels like living in a watercolor painting, where nature is the artist and the human soul is the healer. Leaving the gentle green of Mataiva, the journey takes us to a breathtaking height on the border between India and China, where Pangong Lake stretches like a surreal silk strip between the arid mountains of the Himalayas. At an altitude of more than 4,300 meters, Pangong Lake is unlike any lake we have ever seen. The lake changes color at different times of the day, from blue, turquoise to silver gray, depending on the sunlight and minerals in the water. The silence here is almost absolute. The vastness of the space, the cold wind, and the deep blue sky create a sense of insignificance and awe. Despite the harsh weather, this place is still home to rare migratory birds, making the landscape even more vibrant amidst the wilderness. Pangong is more than just a destination. It is a spiritual experience where nature forces people to stop, take a deep breath, and quietly feel the pristine, cold, and enchanting beauty of the earth. From the cold heights of the Himalayas, we return to the sunny and windy place in the middle of the Arabian Sea. Socotra, a strange island of Yemen, where nature has freely created without any rules. As soon as you set foot on Socotra, you feel like you are lost in another planet. Trees grow in surreal shapes, especially the dragon's blood tree, with leaves like an upside-down umbrella and red sap like congealed blood. All create a strange, hauntingly attractive scene. The island is surrounded by pristine beaches, clear blue water, and high golden sand dunes falling straight down to the ocean, making this place look like a collision between the desert and the ocean. In the deep limestone caves and dense green tropical forests, people still find pristine traces that have never been disturbed by humans. Socotra is not just a place to see, it is a place to be amazed, to question the definition of natural beauty. An island that seems to be forgotten by the world, but carries within it the original soul of the earth. From the surreal and mysterious beauty of Socotra, we continue our journey back to Southeast Asia, to a real underwater paradise, Raja Ampat, an archipelago located in Indonesia's West Papua province. Dubbed the crown jewel of the Coral Triangle, Raja Ampat possesses the most diverse marine ecosystem on the planet, with more than 75% of the world's coral species concentrated here. From the first moment of gliding between the lush limestone islands rising from the turquoise water, people know they are about to enter another world. Beneath the calm water is a vibrant universe. Vibrant coral reefs, graceful manta rays, and schools of colorful fish swimming in clusters like a wordless dance. But not only the ocean is enchanting, Raja Ampat also captivates visitors with its beauty on land. Lush, green, forested rocky islands, peaceful fishing villages, and the sunset falling slowly on the mirror-like water. This is a refuge for the weary soul, a gentle whisper of nature to those who are still moved by pure and eternal beauty. Amid the emerald waters off the northern coast of the Dominican Republic, Cayo Arena appears like a mirage, a tiny coral island in the middle of the vast ocean. There is nothing here but powdery white sand, a few thatched huts, and a colorful underwater world. Everything is simple, but it is that simplicity that makes it perfect, as if you have just stepped into the pages of a tropical fairy tale. Surrounding the island are vibrant coral reefs, where hundreds of species of tropical fish play in the light that filters through the crystal clear water. To get to Cayo Arena, you have to sail across the blue water by boat, and when you set foot on the island, the feeling is hard to describe in words. An absolute silence, a pristine beauty untouched by time. Here, all worries disappear with each gentle wave, leaving only amazement and gratitude before a paradise that seems unreal. Cayo Arena is not just a destination, it is an emotion. Pure, clear, and enchanting. Leaving the dreamlike peace of Cayo Arena, we head to a wild and enchanting land, Flores Island of Indonesia. This place is a magical combination of majestic volcanoes, endless blue sea, and intact indigenous culture. In the heart of the island, Kelimutu Lake appears like a miracle. 3 craters with 3 lakes of 3 different colors, changing over time. Standing in front of that surreal beauty, one feels like one is facing a sacred secret that nature deliberately hides. Not only does Flores have a heart-pounding landscape, it is also the gateway to Komodo National Park, where ancient creatures still quietly survive among the rocky islands and dry grass. From the quiet fishing village to the vibrant coral reef, from the dense forest to the eyes of giant dragons, Flores is an adventure of emotions, of admiration and awe before the primitive beauty of the world. Continuing the journey from the mysterious wilderness of Flores, we come to a quiet but haunting place, Dhanushkodi, located at the southernmost tip of Pamban Island, India. Once a bustling seaside town, this place is now a lonely, desolate ruin after the fury of a cyclone in 1964. Under the tropical sunlight, the collapsed brick walls are reflected on the white sand, creating a scene that is both sad and strangely attractive. But Dhanushkodi is more than just a relic of the past. Surrounded by the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean, this narrow strip of land shines in the surreal beauty of the blue sea, fine sand, and salty breeze. This is also the place associated with the legend of Ram Setu, the bridge built by the god Rama connecting India with Sri Lanka. In that quiet space, nature and legend blend together, making us feel like we are crossing the boundary between reality and dream. From the legendary land of Kodi, the journey takes us across the ocean to a remote and surreal peninsula, Snæfellsnes in Iceland, which is known as Iceland in miniature, because it concentrates almost all the typical beauty of this island nation. As soon as we set foot, we seem to be lost in a cold fairy world. Endless black sand beaches, steep cliffs welcoming white-capped waves, and the snow-capped peak of Snæfellsjökull towering against the silver-gray sky all year round. The air here is so fresh that it is stifling, and every step on the moss-covered lava fields makes people feel like they are walking between two dimensions, between reality and legend. This place was once the inspiration for Jules Verne's journey to the center of the earth. Small fishing villages like Arnarstapi appear in the mist like a painting, where the sound of waves, wind, and time blend together. Snæfellsnes is not just a destination, but a gateway to the pristine and sacred beauty of the early earth. Leaving the icy and mythical lands of Snæfellsnes, we drifted south to the Pacific, where Aitutaki appeared like a crystal-clear dream in the middle of the ocean. A part of the Cook Islands, Aitutaki is an isolated atoll where calm turquoise waters embrace small islands, called motus, scattered like pearls in the lagoon. Just stepping on the powder-soft white sand, a sense of peace immediately enveloped, as if the whole world had stopped to make way for absolute serenity. In Aitutaki, everything seemed to be breathtakingly perfect. Coconut trees rustling in the wind, crystal-clear water reflecting schools of fish swimming, and the immaculate blue sky reflecting the carefree nature of this place. But not only is nature captivating, this is also a land rich in Polynesian culture, where the indigenous people still tell stories through dance, song, and warm smiles. Aitutaki is not just for viewing, it is for feeling, for breathing, for remembering, for life.